Serious tales.
When Mr. Tom moved into the old apartment on Ola Street, it felt like a fresh start. After his divorce, he wanted somewhere quiet, affordable, and away from the noise of Lagos. The landlord, a short man with a round belly and a permanently sweaty forehead, had shown him around without much conversation. It was a simple layout. The sitting room was just big enough for a sofa and a wobbly table. The hallway was narrow, lined with 3 cream-painted doors. Kitchen, first on the left. Bathroom, next in line. Bedroom, at the far end. The paint was peeling, the air faintly smelled of damp plaster, but Tom liked the place. It felt safe. 2 weeks later, on a Thursday evening, the rain poured like someone had split the sky open. Tom ran from the roadside shop with a loaf of bread tucked under his shirt. When he opened his apartment door, something felt off. The hallway seemed longer. And between the kitchen and bathroom, there was a 4th door. It hadn't been there before. He was sure of it. This new door was different from the others. Its paint was fresh, the surface smooth. The brass handle gleamed as though it had been polished that very morning. He tried the handle. Locked. He stood there for a moment, listening. Nothing. The next morning, he asked his elderly neighbor, Mama Tina, about the door. She looked at him strangely. Which door? There are only 3, my son, she said. No, between the kitchen and bathroom, Tom insisted. She waved her hand. Tom, you're new here. Maybe you didn't notice well before. But there is no 4th door in that house. Later that evening, when he got home from work, the door was gone. The wall was bare, just cracked plaster where it had been. 3 nights later, another storm rolled over the neighborhood. At around 2 a.m., Tom woke up to a sound that didn't belong. Scratch, scratch, scratch. It was slow, deliberate, like fingernails dragging across wood. It was coming from the hallway. He switched on the light. The door was back. Something shifted in the narrow shadow under it, like a pair of feet moving. Tom froze. By morning, the door was gone again. Disturbed, Tom began asking more questions. Most neighbors laughed him off, but an old carpenter who had worked on the building years ago pulled him aside. Don't joke with that thing, the man said in a low voice. He explained that in the late 1970s, a tenant had reported a similar door. Voices came from behind it at night, asking to be let in. 1 week later, the man disappeared. The landlord bricked up the spot, but sometimes, the door came back. If you see it again, pretend you didn't, the carpenter warned. It was raining again when the whisper first came. Let me in, please. The voice wasn't male or female, just wrong. Something about it tugged at him, like it was in pain, like it was lonely. Against his better judgment, touched the handle. This time, it turned. The door swung open without a sound. He stepped into a hallway identical to his own, but colder. The air smelled of damp rot, the walls glistened as if wet. Photographs lined the wall, pictures of him, taken inside his apartment. In one, he was cooking. In another, he was sleeping. He didn't remember anyone taking them. From deep inside, footsteps began to approach. Heavy. Slow. The voice spoke again, right by his ear. You opened it. Now you can't close it. The next morning, Mama Tina knocked on Tom's door. No answer. By afternoon, the landlord unlocked the apartment. It was empty, no clothes, no furniture, no trace he had ever lived there. The hallway was back to 3 doors. But when it rains, some tenants could still hear scratching from the wall between the kitchen and bathroom, which sent chills down their spines.